Hello, stamping friends. Brenda Hillard here, and this is the recorded version of my mystery stamp virtual event. So now, if you aren't familiar with this, you'll want to subscribe to my newsletter at createwithbrenda.com. Each month, to be exact, it's the second Wednesday of each month, I host a free virtual stamping event via Zoom. And I also do then or post this recording the day after the live event so that in case you had your stuff cut out and you missed it, you still have that opportunity. And also, if you aren't a subscriber to my newsletter, you might want to subscribe and join me here each month for mystery stamping. It's really fun. We have a great group of gals, and guys are welcome too, but right now we just have girls. So this month is what you're going to need. I had sent out this little notice in my newsletter. So you are going to need adhesive, Stampin' dimensionals, paper trimmer, snips, and a bone folder. You're going to need 3 coordinating patterns of designer series paper cut into 1-inch squares. You'll need 9 squares for each card, and make sure you have 1 darker color pattern square for each card. All right. Basic white cardstock cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Basic white. Oh, here. A basic white piece of cardstock cut at 3 inches by 3 inches. Oopsie. And you'll need a piece of basic white that's cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And then I had said a coordinating colored cardstock cut at 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square. And I chose the Magenta Madness. And then you need a coordinating colored cardstock cut at 4 by 4 inches square. And I chose Bermuda Bay. Then I said, pick a stamp set that includes a sentiment that will fit a label puncher die that is no more than 3 inches long and about 1.5 inches wide. So I chose this Blessings of Home stamp set, and I love this. Thank you for inspiring me. So that's the stamp that I'll be using. And then the punch that I chose is the Everyday Label Punch. So here's my punch, and I'll be trimming this down to fit. And then the ink that I chose to use was Magenta Madness. And I also will be using some of the white linen thread, and that is from the the annual catalog, and it's the flowers. Let's take a look here so I give you the right name of it. It is that combo pack. This one, the flowers for, I guess you can't see it, flowers for every season right here. So, and it's just the white linen out of there. Okay, I think we're ready. So let's start creating the mystery card. One other thing, next month's live mystery stamping event will be January 12th, 2022 at 7 p.m. It feels like we're just flying through these 20s, doesn't it? All right, so there's our card base. Next, I'm going to take that little 3x3 piece, and there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You could use your liquid glue for this. You could use your Stampin' Seal. I am going to do something a little different. If you have adhesive sheets, this works pretty slick. These come in a pack from Stampin' Up! Like this, and they're adhesive sheets. So it turns your cardstock literally into a sticker, okay? And in this pack, you get 12 sheets that measure 6 inches wide by 12 inches long. So I cut a piece that measures 3 by 3, and I'm just going to take the first backing off from this sheet. And as you can see, there is a little trick to getting that off. But once you do, it's very, very sticky. Oops. I'm going to try a different corner just because and I don't know if my take your pick tool would work better on this or not. There it goes. And as you can see, my nails have taken a beating here the last few weeks. So I'll have to go in and get those taken care of. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of cardstock and I'm just going to lay it on my 3 by 3 square. Okay, so now there's going to be this side that we peel off. And the reason I liked it, you'll see in just a minute for this project, is that now I have this really sticky piece of cardstock for this. I'm just going to set it down here on my silicone mat. And remember I said cut 3 coordinating designer series papers into 1 by 1 inch squares and have a dark one for the center. Now you wouldn't have to have 4, you could use just the 3, but I chose a 4th one here to kind of blend my colors. So I'm going to take one of these 1 inch squares and I'm just going to set it right here on the corner. Now, if any of you watching this are quilters, you are going to love, love, love this card design. I'm going to butt the next one up. And then I'll take my 3rd coordinating color. And then I'm going to start my 2nd row here. I'm just making a 9 by 9 grid with my squares. Now this is where I'm going to take the dark one and put that right here in the center. And then I'll take another. And as all I'm doing with this, I make sure that I don't have the exact same paper right next to each other. So there's that. And then we can do more of this. And you're probably wondering about this paper, and I'm going to tell you about it in just a second. So there's that one. And I will do this one. One more of these. So there's our 9 by 9 grid, okay? Isn't this paper adorable? Let me tell you a little bit about it. So on January 4th, we have a brand new catalog coming. So exciting. And it's going to be celebration again. And this paper is called Sunshine and Rainbows, and it is free. It's a 6 by 6 pack, free with a $50 purchase, and you get all of these sunshine and rainbows. So front and back, front and back, front and back. Look at all of these beautiful and bright prints. I just love, 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 love this paper. So I hope you'll join me on January 4th with the new catalog and place an order and get your free celebration items. So now back to our mystery stamp. Now is all I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this and make sure that I've got 3 by 3, okay? And I'm using my little mini trimmer from a few years ago. It was one of the celebration treats, and it's just been pretty handy for when you travel, or like I just did with those quick little snips. All right, let's bring this back in. And now I'm going to take this. Remember, I said it measured 3 by 3. I'm going to cut this in half at 1.5, 1.5, and 1.5. Okay, so now we've got our 4 pieces. And like I said, if you're a quilter, you're going to love this because it's that disappearing 9 patch that you can do as a quilt. So I'm going to bring in my piece of magenta, and remember that measured 3.25 by 3.25 inch square. So is what's going to happen is we're going to lay these out. Let's try this and this. And then this one, we'll put these little blues in the corners like that. Okay. So is what I'm going to do is add some adhesive. And now, like I said, you can either use liquid or Stampin' Seal. And I'm leaving that 1/4 inch around. I think though, for the video, I think I would normally use the liquid glue, but for the sake of video and being a little quicker, I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal. So is what I'm doing is just putting this now together on this square. So our piece is now going to look like that. So we get all of our little, it's no longer the 9 blocks. We get that nice mix, okay? I'm going to take my, I don't want mini ones, I want regular. Here we go. Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put those down just like that. Are you guys excited about your sneak peeks here at the new product? I just am so excited about the stuff in this new catalog coming. It's so fun and so beautiful. All right, so there's going to be the focal piece on our card. Okay. Let's bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and you've seen me using this no slip shelf paper. So I've got, I'm going to move my coffee because I've been known to spill that on camera. Great. The new embossing folder. It comes with a sweet. It's called the Gingham embossing folder, and it's really, really fun. So we're going to take our piece of 3.75 by 5, and I'm just going to set it in. Remember, put your hinged end in first. Cutting plate, and then I'm just going to turn this through. Oops. Ran over the cap from my Stampin' Seal. It just went shooting across. All right, let's move this out of the way. And look at what we've got here. How beautiful is that, right? I just love this gingham check. You will too. And it becomes available January 4th to customers. If you want to sign up and be part of the Create with Brenda team, you can order your stuff from the new catalog now. That's one of the perks of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and it's just one of the perks. There's many. So what I did is I added dimensionals to the back of the embossed piece. And now we're going to center this on our card base, white on white. Isn't that pretty? And do you see how that white on white makes it pop? Then I'm going to turn this over and I'm just going to add some Stampin' Seal to the back, and I'm going to center that on our card front. So now it's coming together, right? And you could go this way too if you wanted to, but I chose to do a portrait. Now, let's take a scrap of our basic white. And remember, I said I'm going to use that sentiment from the Blessings of Home that says, "Thank you. You inspire me." So I'm going to take my Magenta Madness, ink it up. I'm just going to stamp. And I chose that Everyday Label Punch. So when I center this in here right now is what I want to do is I want to line up my words so that they're in those rounded, on the rounded sides there. Looks pretty good to me. And a punch. And then I'm going to bring my little trimmer in because I don't want my label to be quite this big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up these points and just trim them off straight. Line them up on the edge of my trimmer and cut. And then line them up again on the edge of my trimmer and cut. So then I end up with this shaped label, which I really love. And it works really well on my 9-patch, disappearing 9-patch design. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my label. And then I'm going to put that right down here. Now, I didn't feel, because of how the papers that I chose for my disappearing 9-patch, I didn't feel I needed embellishment, but what I did want is a piece or a bow with this linen ribbon. I just love the bows that come from this ribbon. I'll show you here in just a second. This ribbon is like crisp, but yet it's flexible, so you have the ability to adjust your bows. And there we have it. So let's trim this. And it's going to grab a glue dot, maybe 2. And I'm going to put a little bow right there. How cute, right? Thank you for inspiring me. And then the other stamp that's in this set that's really fun, and you know how trendy it is to cut sentiments apart and then stair step them? This stamp works really well for that. Let me grab a block quickly here. This was kind of an afterthought with the card, but what's a card without a sentiment, right? So let's put this on. And I've got our Magenta Madness. I'm just going to open up and stamp an inside sentiment. You are a real blessing to everyone around you. All right, you guys, there it is, the disappearing 9-patch. I hope you love it. I hope you'll give it a try. And I hope you'll join me live next month, January 7th. No, January 12th, 2022 at 7 p.m. See you then. Bye-bye.